earlier, but yeah, basically I kind of wanted to just shout out there for the folks who are really staying engaged with Red Rooster Gorilla, and we're live on it on YouTube as well. Check me out, y'all. I'm doing 2 live streams at the same time. How many people are doing that right now? I don't know if it's a hold up. I'm going to pray to the YouTube gods and Instagram, whoever they may be. Please help me continue doing the 2 streams at the same time, because that is supremely awesome. Anyway, getting back to what I was saying here a moment ago before I take the questions over on the live stream for YouTube. So yeah, you got to like the Red Rooster Gorilla page. Oh, got it. It's telling me I can't use hand gestures until I install the app, so I'm not worried about that. But thanks, Instagram. I'll stop using my thumbs. All right, to backtrack, we're giving away a free radio program for your area, a T-shirt, and a seat in Intro to Off-Road Communications. Which, by the way, we have the next class coming up, July 26th. So July 26th, we're giving away a seat to the one that's going to be taking place at Cargo. That's in El Cajon. So that's Case and Rugged Gear Outfitters, if I'm not mistaken. It's a great shop. So any of those folks out there who do overlanding, got great equipment there. Like basically, it's not just Pelican cases out there, guys. There's a ton of cases to shop through, and I think Cargo kind of does a great job of specializing there. So go talk to those folks. Keep it local. That's the greatest thing about San Diego is we kind of help our own. So go out there, check out the shop in El Cajon Cargo. We're going to be teaching there July 26th, Intro to Off-Road Communication. So again, sweepstakes is like, share, subscribe, all the things. Be engaged. Share any new post between now and July 10th at midnight 11th. We'll pick a winner July 11th to give you those things, including the T-shirt. Again, the design is going to be the Red Rooster, Do You Even Comms Bro thing I had up earlier. So it's a cool shirt. I hope you enjoy. Cool. So I like this format, and if this continues to run, it says I'm live, so I'm going to keep going and until they shut me down. It's Friday. Unfortunately, just coffee. So just drinking coffee right now. Excuse me. Yeah. So, okay. So that's the sweepstakes. The next thing I wanted to kind of talk to is the mesh net. So this is a great thing for the folks who've already gone through the class. You're already pre-established in terms of joining the mesh net. So for what I'm talking about here, those who don't know, Meshtastic is a project that's that's taking a wider footprint amongst the average Joes out there in terms of communication alternatives. I highly encourage you to check them out, meshtastic.org. Learn about that project over there. And the equipment's not that expensive, but we use that equipment to establish a robust alternative communications network. And it's encrypted. So get that right. Let's use the tools that are out there. So for very small investment in terms of equipment, you can have a Meshtastic net set up and running. You know what? And I can actually have that running right now. So once I get rid of the once I hang up from the Instagram call here, the going live on Instagram, I'm gonna go to the Meshtastic, and I'm actually gonna get up onto the Rooster net, which is what I was talking about. So I've established a channel just for folks who are, hey y'all, oh sweet, big Unk up here, represent dog, let's go. But you know what I'm saying. So I guess, gosh, where was I? Man, lost my train of thought. But I think at the end of the day here, what we're trying to do with the class is, really expose folks to what's available and out there. Meshtastic being one of them. So that's where I was, Meshtastic. So for the folks who are already alumni from the class, from attending the class, you're already pre-enrolled. So when you walk out of that class, you're already pre-established in the channel, because we give them the QR code to load the channel on your equipment. So if you walk in there to take the Meshtastic portion of the equipment home with you, which is an optional feature, they give out the Lily Go piece of gear, highly recommended. It's plug and play, those ones. And so what we do is set them up on the net before they walk out the door. So you're already kind of in the game before the class is over. So it's a great value for what it is, and what you walk away with. Because in that class, you actually get a program radio with the repeaters in our area for San Diego, largely for the audience and the students here. But you get a radio with all the repeaters in there. We show folks how to do that in the class, either using Chirp or on the face itself, so you can program repeaters on the fly if you needed to. So you kind of walk out with a working knowledge of the radio and the confidence and the ability to actually use it. Um, and hopefully, when you walk out of there, you're putting in the reps and sets to get proficient with it. Um, so yeah, we get you into the mesh net, which is every Friday. We're going to be doing it basically when I do the Instagram live. I'll start that off for my California audience out there on Instagram. So we'll do the 420 launch for like the preliminary stuff. Usually I'm going to save that for like what's coming next. I'll talk about it with the current events, but we'll start that off with kind of like a little 10-minute current events thing on Instagram, and then I'll secure that to keep the YouTube live stream going, which is where I'll take questions on things related to radio or things that we talk about in the class or for the things that we have coming up. So when we do the mesh network that I was just talking about, RoosterNet, that's what it's called. We're going to give away exclusive deals and offers for that. So, Gun Owners Radio too, we'll be giving out some things, but mostly we'll have opportunities to get free training. If there's discounts to other trainers that are available out there for their courses, or if there's exclusive deals that you can only get through Rooster or Gun Owners Radio, you're going to hear it through the Mesh Network, and that's exclusive to the radio class alumni for those that have that channel, which is cool because every Friday we'll open the net. We can open up the mesh net there so people can kind of have a robust alternative to an emergency piece of communication equipment if needed, because we could show you how to set that up where it's really just working off a solar battery. But yeah, kind of leveraging low tech technology to maintain a high capability, namely with communications. So yes, all that to say, I hope you stay tuned for more because we got a lot coming. Honestly, this is going to be an interesting way to kind of deliver the content in a way that I think connects more with folks. I often have to reiterate, like, why would we just take your class instead of just watching YouTube? And I think kind of going back to what I was just saying a moment ago, where we don't really just teach you how to turn on and set up the equipment. That's like, 1/4 of the rest of it. Part of it is kind of putting together what's available into a way that communicates a very informative picture of your area. And largely, it helps you understand what, is going to be going on around you, for disaster preparedness. Because we get into that. We get into a lot of disaster preparedness stuff in that class as well. If you're interested in a class similar to that, I know Thomas Coyne teaches the urban survival class up there in Orange County. I think they do that down there at the bowling alley, up to 5 somewhere in Santa Ana. But yeah, check it out. It's a Thomas Coyne Survival School. They do a lot of training just like that. They'll take folks up into the woods and teach them survival skills up in the woods. So so check them out up there if you're closer to that area. Can't recommend them enough. All of the trainers I can't recommend enough. All of them. I hope rising tides raise all ships, right? So I don't like the whole. I just don't think you need to put someone else's candle out to make your shine brighter. I hope that San Diego doesn't have that culture amongst its training community, because it's very small here, and we have a very very niche opportunity to really establish San Diego as the premier or mecca, if you will, of training center. Marksmanship training and training like this, just the training epicenter for the civilian defense market, I guess is what we're calling it. Which I know what you guys were thinking prior to starting this Instagram. You're like, okay, what's his take on Lucas? I don't have one. I don't really care. I like T-Ray. I like to listen to those guys. Sometimes it's like cool to hear some real shit. Isaac, I don't care. I would still watch them. It's so stupid. I don't care. Sometimes I feel like this community just eats its own for no reason. But I really don't care. I wish them well. I don't know if something bad happened or somebody's wee got slapped somehow. I don't know. But Rooster says he doesn't care. But I wish you well, Lucas. Lucas, I wish you well. All right, bringing me back to the idea of the live stream here. So, so every Friday, the idea is to kind of get up the mesh, have folks, if you can connect on it, The antennas on those things, on the smaller ones, don't really, they don't do a whole lot for your ability. So what I would say is, come to the class. We'll show you how to kind of build one of those bigger base stations that it's with, very, very inexpensively come out with a very workable solution for like a home base mesh station. Um, which would work very well, especially if you're walking around the house. Then you can kind of use like the little one around you. So anyway, we walk through that and what all that is and what I'm talking about, because I honestly think mesh is still kind of new out there for a lot of folks. If people don't understand what that is. Um, you know. All right. Let's talk about some current events. Did y'all know, for the city of San Diego, the police department fully implemented its intent to go fully encrypted? Yeah, and it started July 2nd or June 2nd. So yes, as a mandate by the Department of Justice, the city of San Diego is now in full compliance with full encryption of their network. So the scanner folks out there, I know there's a lot of channels on Instagram now that are kind of coming up now, and I know they were just relying on scanner traffic, and unfortunately, this era of nanny state slash police state, surveillance, rules for thee as well. The average citizen is going to be left in the dark and kind of what's going on around them. And the notion behind it, the Department of Justice said, was because they wanted to protect personal identifying information. I know that license plate information or names or license, those types of things. There's ways to work around that, especially in a digital age. It's not but at the same time, those scanner, that whole concept of having an ear on your government and the state is a huge deal, and I think that the encryption of it sort of goes in the opposite direction. I don't think the monopoly on that should be oriented one direction than the other. I think there's an argument for a well balance there, but that's for another Friday live stream. Yeah, I'm digging this. Looks like we got live going on Instagram still. I got the live on YouTube's. I'll just go all night. No, I'm kidding. All right, so current events. That was the San Diego PD information. And the next thing I was tripping out on was that the two Chinese students going to the University of Massachusetts with like a bioweapon or a biological weapon. Get this. So two Chinese nationals, Tran Quinn and Jing Wang, sorry, charged with conspiring to illegally import Burla. I can't really pronounce it, but I'm sure it's Burla Burladurka Sulamale, a biological pathogen, into the U.S. CDC classifies the pathogen as a select tier 1 or tier 1 select agent, the causative agent of molliosis. I believe I'm saying it right. A disease with high mortality even when treated. So we're talking about a really dangerous bioweapon here. Just casually getting studied at the University of Massachusetts. And yeah, they got picked up by the FBI. I wonder how that went down. But yeah, suppose this pathogen's natural in sort of Southeast Asia. So, I mean, was this the next booster shot coming? I don't know. I don't know if that's controversial, but even when treated, so mortality's even high when treated. Yeah. So the preppers out there, go out there, get your Tyvek suits. Go out there and get your M190. Is it the M194 mask? And whatever, the high grade 3M mask that keeps out particulates. I don't know. We're screwed. The other one, I can't. Burkladora Pseudomale. Burkladora Pseudomale. I don't know if that's even the right way of saying it, but it sounds like a bad thing. All right, so be very afraid of that. Be very, very afraid of that. There was one more thing I wanted to talk about. I guess the meters in San Diego, man. Don't get caught at the meters. Gosh, they are hammering folks through those meters. And not only that, you can't feed the meter anymore. I don't know if you guys knew that, but like as of June 2nd thing, or maybe it was last week, May 30th, but you can't feed your meter after it's expired. You know, the whole scene where you're like, oh, I gotta go feed my meter, or that excuse, yeah, I gotta go feed the meter. I gotta go because I gotta go feed the meter. Yeah, you can't, or else you're gonna get a ticket. It's like $85. So please be mindful of that when you're down a gas lamp and you're hanging around downtown. Just why San Diego, I love you, man, but guys, listen, why would you be going to downtown, man? Like, it's dirty. There's homeless everywhere. Like, we need to clean that shit up. Excuse me, we need to clean that up. But yeah, why would you be going to downtown anyway? Like, the parking's ridiculous. Feed that meter by not feeding the meter. You know what I'm saying? All right. So let's see. And that's kind of it. So this is kind of where I say my call to action for y'all is to like, share, subscribe, keep engaged on the channel. Of course, I'm talking to you on Instagram right now. So like I said, every Friday I'll come on around 4:20 for my California audience out there, and so you can kind of get an inside peek at some stuff, and then I'll switch over to the YouTube to take questions for anybody that wants to learn a little bit more about what we're talking about in the class. So again, the next class is July 26th in El Cajon. It's at Cargo. Check that store out, man. It's actually really cool. And they sell some of this equipment there already. So if you're looking for like Bofang accessories, you may not have to go out to a 3D printer person online. You might actually have somebody in San Diego that carries it. So don't stay shy at the shops. Anyway, so check them out. We'll be doing it there live. Of course, we'll be live because we're actually hands on with this class. Sweepstakes, yep. Stay with me and stay engaged. Like, share, subscribe, and then any new posts between now and July 11th, share that, and you'll be entered to win a free radio program for your area, a t-shirt, and a free seat into Intro to Off-Grid Communications. And yes, you can pass it to your nana. So if you can't go but you want your nana to go, yes, we'll work through that. But at the end of the day, what we want folks to do is come check out the class. The word of mouth speaks for itself, and we get a lot of great feedback on it. Especially when I lay out that it's not a ham radio class. I've been exploring ways to incorporate that feature where it'd be a 2-day class where we would basically run through Intro to Off-Grid Comms on a Saturday, and then on a Sunday we would come in and we would do basically the test prep and take the test at the end. I need to find a couple more general volunteers or general ham operators. So it takes a general and above to be a VEC, so a veteran exam, or uh, it's not a veteran, but a validated exam coordinator. If I'm mistaking that with the ARRL. So yeah, there's a process to actually get an exam for your technician's license, especially amongst the folks administering it. So if I can find a couple more guys that are at the general level or above that want to do this, and we want to, give folks the tests on a Sunday, we could just throw that together, pitch in, let people pay the $10 or whatever for everybody, and they split it, walk home with that. It's not about the money at that point. But we'll still charge for the Intro to Off-Grid Comms, because again, that's not really a ham class. But I think that if we feature a technician's portion where you can get your license at the on the Sunday portion of the class, I think that might be we might entertain something like that, see if that works. Because there's a lot of folks that just want to be on the FCC's database, and no problems getting there. That's why I'm saying you can get the GMRS license and pay $35 to the FEC or FCC rather, and give them all your information and be on the grid. This class is not that. This just shows you everything you would need to be off the grid, and we also show basic basic skills of implementing, your own force protection measures. We got a lot of terms being thrown around these days, so it's important to kind of expose kind of what the common vernacular is versus kind of what's stolen valor. Because honestly, there's a lot going on YouTube. It's a great feature. I'm a YouTube enjoyer myself. I fixed many cars through YouTube, so can't argue with the facts there. But at the end of the day, it's my life in my hands that way. So I better hope those torque settings work. Yeah, man. Hey guys. Hey, so to wrap up here, I had the Instagram live going earlier. Just to sum it up for the folks just joining, although I'm gonna save this one and I'm gonna let Instagram kind of do its magic. But uh, every Friday I'm gonna be going live here on Instagram and stream on the YouTube live stream as well. So 420s for my California audience out there. we'll get started there with some inside California features of kind of what's going on in the area with current events. That's why we already talked about San Diego PD going encrypted as of Monday to comply with DOJ requirements, and those two pesky Chinese whoever they were bringing in bioweapons. Crazy. Yeah, and feed your meter, or you can't feed your meter anymore in San Diego, so don't do that. So things like that, we don't have to go into the weeds about everything. I think there's a lot of channels out there that cover information pretty well. So the aim here is to kind of just keep it geared towards off-grid communications for us in San Diego. Uh, we'll open the mesh network. So for the alumni, you get the exclusive access into the mesh network that we have. It's an encrypted channel on mesh. We'll have exclusive offers. We'll have exclusive deals and opportunities that we'll pass out there. Things like where we'll just do a field exercise. If you hear that, go out there. We'll test some theories. There's things in the past we've done with drones. So we've had some folks out there that have, we've used radio to, experiment with different ways of drones. So features like that we can kind of, test in real time. Because it is a community. It takes others to dance, if you will, and especially with radio. So get out there, and these are some opportunities to come in that. So stay tuned. If you don't know what I'm talking about with Mesh, go to meshtastic.org. Check them out. It's a great project. And, that's what I'm saying here. We give out an encrypted channel there that's gun owners radio, specific deals and offers and opportunities there. Things like sweepstakes as well. So, again, all you got to do to join mine is like, share, subscribe, comment, and share anything share anything between now and July 11th. And that gets you entered to win. We'll announce the winner on July 11th. Free t-shirt, program radio, and a seat into Intro to Off-Grid Communications. And RoosterNet. So we talked about RoosterNet a few times. That's really it, guys. I guess this is the part where I sign off on Instagram and I focus over here on YouTube for some questions and answers over there for the folks who want to talk more about radio, less about Rooster. And it's real easy. I can, pass the, it's real easy. Red Rooster Gorilla at YouTube. Just go to the search engine or search bar on YouTube, type in Red Rooster Gorilla. It came right up and it shows that I'm live. So you can probably find me pretty quickly there. But that's where I'm streaming now. If you don't have it, stay tuned. Those links will come out shortly thereafter, Instagram. So for Instagram, I'm signing out. If I can figure out how. Ending the Instagram show. Let me go view those insights. All right, YouTube. So this is where I would basically take questions from the audience. But because it's such a small audience this time around, I don't think